Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jeff Voorhees. I'm the Executive Director of the Metropolitan PGA. And I'm going to turn it over to a more familiar face to most of you here to sing to us. But before I do, I think this might be my only opportunity to get in front of the microphone today, so I'm going to take full advantage. I just wanted to say a couple of things. Kidding, that was a joke. I was supposed to. Seriously, we're here, and we thank you for being here and taking some time off of your Columbus Day, many off of work and school, to come and celebrate the achievements of all the junior golfers in the room today from the past summer. We're really proud of them. We know that you are too, and we're really proud of our junior golf tour for a lot of reasons. Most of the things that we're the most proud of go beyond just what you shot on a given day. We're really proud of the number of kids that participate in the program. We're really proud of the number of playing opportunities that we're able to provide. We're so thankful that all of you love golf as much as you do and that you take advantage and that you get out there and play. We're really happy that you get out and that you're able to play with your peers, kids your age, from different clubs, different walks of life, different backgrounds. We think that opportunity and experience is so valuable. So we're really glad that you take advantage of it. I guess my point is, as much as we're here to celebrate and hand out awards, there's so much more to this great game. And this great game gives us so much more than just who played the best today or tomorrow or next week. And I guess if I'm trying to urge you a little bit, it's to just keep that in mind. This winter, if you have the opportunity to play golf, or next season, or as you approach high school golf, or your senior year, or on to college, whatever it may be for you and your journey with the game of golf, just keep in mind, again, I talked about all the things that we're proud of, and we are proud of the people that win, of course. Everybody wants to win, and we all have goals, and we want to achieve our goals and do well and win. But we I wouldn't say almost, we get as much or more satisfaction out of seeing great course etiquette, people replacing divots and fixing ball marks, great sportsmanship, and going out of your way to congratulate the person that did win when you maybe didn't have your best day. We hope that the junior tour has provided those types of opportunities for you to kind of learn and grow away from mom and dad and do it on your own. And as I said, I would almost challenge everyone here, you're already great champions in terms of the ability to play the game. Let's make sure that, and I'm sure that, not to improve, but maybe to just continue or to always keep in mind those other aspects of golf. Being a great sport, learning a little bit about the rules, if there should be a ruling, and the way that you handle yourself with grace and with dignity. We're really proud of that. And for me, the few junior golf tournaments that I get the opportunity to attend, I pay very little attention to the score. I just like to watch body language and watch the way that you all behave. And I think it's been really good. I think we can always do better. And as I said, let's just keep scoring as well in etiquette and in sportsmanship as we do on our scorecard. So thanks everybody. Really happy with the turnout. Again, like I said, we really appreciate you taking some of your time off to celebrate these kids and their great accomplishments. And enough out of me. Let's turn it over to our junior golf leader. The director of junior golf, Dan Franco, is going to sing our national anthem to open the ceremony.
Could everyone please stand for the national anthem? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thanks, Jeff. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 2016 Academy Awards. Oh, wait a minute, I'm in the wrong place. Sorry, I was talking about a dream I had last week. But anyway, good afternoon to everyone. My name is Dan Frankel. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the Director of Junior Golf for the Met PGA. I have a couple of words I'd like to share with you. I promise that I'll do my best to stay on message, unlike one of our presidential candidates, and I'll use the teleprompter. But thanks so much to everyone for being here. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to Winged Foot for the 2016 Junior Tour Award Ceremony. As Jeff said, I know we all have very busy schedules, and we appreciate you joining us today to celebrate your amazing accomplishments and hard work from this past season. 2016 is an extra special year, not only for the Metropolitan section, but for the PGA sections across the country, as the PGA of America celebrates its centennial year. Founded on April 10th, 1916, just a few miles away from where we are this very moment in New York City, the PGA became the first nationwide all-professional golf association. The PGA of America has grown from its original 78 members to more than 28,000 men and women professionals today. Thanks to the work of these professionals, the PGA is recognized as the industry leader in growing participation in a game that engages millions worldwide. Looking out in front of me, seeing all these young men and women ensures me that the PGA is certainly doing the right job. With this year being the centennial celebration, it was extremely important for us as a section to find a site for our most prestigious events, both on the professional and junior level, that have an important historical context to the PGA of America, which is exactly why we are sitting here at Winged Foot today, one of the most majestic sites in all of golf history. What better place than Winged Foot, host of 5 U.S. Opens, with a 6th just 3.5 short years away, 2 U.S. Amateurs, a U.S. Senior Open, 2 U.S. Women's Open, and the 1997 PGA Championship won by my personal golf hero and our 2016 Ryder Cup captain, Davis Love III. This event marks the conclusion of our 41st year for the Junior Tour. Our mission is to be everything to everybody. Whether it is the Junior Tour providing playing opportunities to junior golfers just starting out in our 9-hole division, or providing some of the strongest competition in the tri-state area in our 12 to 18-year-old divisions. Looking out at the number of people in the audience tonight, I am encouraged that we are on the right path. But rest assured that we will continue each and every year to look for new ways to improve and grow our foundation to best serve the junior golfers of the Metropolitan section. "2016 was another record year for our program, with membership reaching nearly 1,300 members. We ran 120 tournaments this season, along with 7 drive, chip, and putt qualifiers throughout the section. Running a program of this magnitude is not easy. There are months of planning that have to happen before the season even starts. But without a strong team that believes in our same vision, our program would not nearly be as effective or impactful. We cannot thank our team enough for their hard work and dedication to this program. For the junior tour to run as seamless as it does, there are a lot of people to thank that put the time in to make it all possible. This year, we had a new staff member come on board as our player development manager. In addition to doing an outstanding job with her main initiatives, such as PGA Hope, Junior League Golf, and Drive, Chip, and Putt, she was an invaluable asset to the junior tour this year. I would personally like to thank Caitlin Sabay for everything she has done to support me and the program throughout the year. Caitlin, please give her a round of applause, absolutely. Caitlin grew up playing on the junior tour, was an intern for the junior tour, went on to work for other prominent golf associations such as the USGA, and as far as I'm concerned, that embodies everything that player development is. Thank you, Caitlin. To our Director of Operations, Kelly Clayton, I would need all night and then some to describe all of her accomplishments and everything she's done and continues to do for junior golf. Although Kelly did not have as much of an on-site presence as she has in the past, I can tell you that the program would not be where it is today if it were not for all of her tireless efforts and passion for growing the game. She is my #1 mentor and continues to tirelessly support me and make our program stronger. Thank you, Kelly, or as I like to call you, Aunt Kelly. Of course, thank you to our board of directors who support us at every turn. Stuart Walk, our junior golf chairman, is here with us tonight, as well as Steve Scott, who's our keynote speaker. So you'll have the opportunity to get a little more FaceTime with these gentlemen in a few moments, but thank you to both of you. Thank you to Jeff Voorhees, our new executive director, for believing in us and giving us leeway to continually change and adapt our program to take it to the next level. Your leadership and guidance this past year has been a tremendous asset to the program. Thank you for everything you do. I'm sure he's hiding somewhere in the back and won't allow himself to come up to the front, but this is one of my most important and heartfelt thank yous of all time. This year, after 43 years of service to the Metropolitan PGA, all of its members, and all of its initiatives, our executive director, Charlie Robson, retired. As I mentioned earlier, the junior tour began only 41 years ago. Hence, Mr. Robson was not only there, but was an integral part in launching and growing this unbelievable program. It has been a force of good for so many lives, as you see before you. He did not have to be here tonight, but in his 43 years of service, one of his proudest, if not his proudest accomplishment, is his leadership starting this program and growing it to where it is today under his unparalleled leadership. Look around the room, see the number of tournaments, see the number of people impacted by this program. None of this ever would be possible without his vision and tireless work. Can I please ask everyone to stand and join me in giving Mr. Charlie Robson a standing ovation for his 43 years of service. He likes to hide during these moments, but it's very well deserved. Thank you, Charlie. At this time, I would like to recognize our field staff that are here tonight. I would ask each of them to stand when I call their name. Here tonight from our Long Island staff is the infamous Tommy Kuhn. From the Westchester staff, we have Art Armento and Dave Carrazzo. I think they're still giving out medals. To Tommy Kuhn and Art Armento, my right and left-hand men, thank you for being so dedicated to our mission and for leading our field staff teams on Long Island and Westchester so skillfully. What makes them so special is not only the hard work, the time they dedicate to the program, but how much they care about the well-being of each and every member of our program, and how important it is to teach them about golf, about life, and doing so solely because they care. No doubt all of our players here tonight have benefited from your years of hard work, your kindness, your guidance, and it is a big reason why I am here tonight. Thank you to you both. If there is any message that I want you to come away with tonight, it is to always follow your dreams. Whether you want to one day be the #1 player in the world, a doctor, a lawyer, a fireman, a teacher, follow your heart and work as hard as you can to make your dreams come true. Make a plan. As the late, great Arnold Palmer once said, the road to success is always under construction. Think about where you'd like to see yourself in 5 years from now and make that happen. Figure out the steps to achieve that goal. All of the people who we have the great privilege of admiring are people just like us who follow their hearts and their dreams to reach their achievements. Although we suffered a great loss with the passing of Mr. Palmer, his teaching and his legacy for what he did for the game and for his love of people is something we will never lose. Be inspired, be excited, and most importantly, be grateful for the opportunities that you have and for the people that surround you. Take an extra moment to thank Mom and Dad for everything they do for you. Trust me when I say it is all out of love. On that note, I need to thank my #1 fans, my parents, Van and Lori Frankel, who are here tonight. Thank you, Mom and Dad. If you go back 12, 13 years ago, Kelly Clayton was the woman standing here at this podium, and I was sitting right there with my parents. So being a part of this organization for so many years is so meaningful to me, and it's just such a wonderful thing for me to see all of you and to see golf growing in such a positive and meaningful way. So thank you to all of you. High appreciation also needs to go out to all of the head and assistant professionals that support us at each and every event by hosting events, running fundraisers at their clubs, or just teaching you guys. At this time, I would like to invite Stuart Walk, our junior golf chairman and treasurer of our section, who is also head professional at Silvermine Golf Club, up to the podium to say a few words.
Thank you, Dan. What an honor it is to be here tonight. Thank you. As I said, Dan said, I'm Stuart Walk. I'm the head golf professional at Silvermine Golf Club. And I am an alumnus of this fine group going back in the late 70s when I played in these tournaments. And I just want to say thank you and to our staff, as well as all the members in the PGA of America and the team effort that it takes to kind of pull these events off and to also have the successful program that we have in our section. There are 41 sections in the PGA of America, and our section is right up there with the largest membership and the largest tournament program of any section that's in the United States. And that is because of the teamwork between our staff, and I can't thank Dan enough for what you've done in the last couple of years, from Kelly kind of handing the reins over to you, and how this program just continues to grow and get better with 100+ events in 90 days, the addition of the Futures Tour to keep challenging our juniors and providing them more. And it's an honor to be a part of that and just to keep moving junior golf forward. The other thing I want to do is just congratulate everyone here in this room. What a great summer you had. I hope you had a great summer. We had great weather, worked in the games, got better, and if I could just tell you, continue to enjoy this game. Take it to whatever level you want to play at it, but just keep having fun and enjoy it. We also wanted just to give some thanks to some clubs for the events, that everything that's done in our section in the Met PGA, the Junior Golf League, Drive, Chip and Putt, the First Tee, the PA Sale program, some community outreach, and our various scholarship opportunities. This comes with funding. And that's another thing that I like to thank our membership, that we've been challenged to go out and raise over $100,000 each year to help fund these programs. And there's certain clubs that have gone way above and beyond the expectations of what it takes to raise money. Brookville, Country Club New Canaan, Garden City, Meadowbrook, Old Oaks, Quaker Ridge, Round Hill, St. Andrews, Sea Wayne, and Sunningdale. Just a special thanks to the memberships of those places for the extra effort that they make to promote junior golf. Everybody enjoy your night tonight. Congratulations to all, and thanks so much for having me.
Thank you, Stuart. On our website is a list of courses that hosted an event along with the appropriate names and address. We would ever so much appreciate if you would take some time in the next few weeks to just send them a thank you note. You can do so even via email. It would be a tremendous help in potentially securing another event there for next year. So a little goes a long way. Please take the time to do that. Before I turn the floor over to our guest speaker, I would like to take a moment to give one of my most important thank yous of the evening. We would never be able to grow and expand our program to what it is today without the continued support of our sponsor, EY. For over 16 years, this night, these trophies and prizes would never have been possible if not for their commitment to junior golf. I would ask all parents as well as juniors to also write a short note of thank you to our sponsor, EY. Again, you can send them a note, send an email, or simply tweet at them a sentence, letting them know that you appreciate their commitment to our program. These small gestures of thanks from our members go a long way to ensuring their continued support for the years to come. I am honored to say that we have representation from EY joining us here today. If you could please join me in giving a warm welcome to Peter Breckling, who will now be presenting the EY Sportsmanship Award.
Thanks, Dan. Just wanted to start out a big round of applause for all the participants for their achievements this year. They've done a great job. The mission of the Met PGA Junior Tour is to educate promising young golfers with the life lessons the game of golf has to offer, such as honesty, respect, and courtesy. The EY Sportsmanship Award is presented to one junior each year that exemplifies what the Junior Tour stands for and the skills that the foundation tries to impart to each and every one of its members. For many years, Met PGA staff, other members of the Junior Tour, and members and professionals at various courses where we have events have all been greatly impressed by this young man and his tremendous display of sportsmanship both on and off the golf course. He is a person that you only need to meet once to understand that his love for the game of golf and the respect that he has for it, as well as his fellow competitors, is truly an example to be followed. Tyler Jurvavitz is a gentleman in every sense of the word and exemplifies leadership, integrity, and an undeniable passion for the game. The person he is has not only recognized him with special honors such as this one, it has elevated his game to be consistent contender in championships and one of the top players in the area. I am sure his family is proud of him tonight as we announce this year's EY Sportsmanship Award is presented to Tyler Jurvavitz of Huntington Crescent Club.
I'd just like to say a few words. I just want to say thank you to the whole Met PGA and EY for the Sportsmanship Award. It means a lot to me. And I'd like to say thank you to my parents for believing in me and helping me throughout my life on and off the golf course. Thank you.
Thank you, Tyler, and thank you, Peter. Today, our program was designed to not only pay tribute to the great accomplishments of junior golfers, but also to provide some insight and education from our guest speaker that could help our juniors as they continue their golf journey. Joining us tonight is a very special PGA professional that helped to make it all happen. Steve Scott is the PGA head professional at Paramount Country Club in New City, New York. Steve joined Paramount in 2012 and has been a head professional since 2009. Steve not only has a passion for playing and teaching the game of golf, but has enjoyed appearances as studio guest, on-course commentator, and instructional guest of the Golf Fix with Michael Breed on the Golf Channel. His competitive fire still burns and has regained strong form in recent years while playing in Met PGA section tournaments. Steve lives his enthusiasm every day for the game of golf and routinely gives back while serving on the board of directors for the Metropolitan PGA and through various regional golf organizations. For Steve, the game of golf is truly all in the family, as his wife, Christy, is a Paramount Country Club LPGA teaching professional, and they have 2 children, Jeffrey, Christopher, JC, and Kaylee. Before I invite Steve to come up here, I would like to play a video for you from the 1996 U.S. Amateur Final Match, where Steve battled a name you guys might be familiar with, a gentleman by the name of Tiger Woods, in one of the most legendary final matches in all of golf history. Enjoy. Sorry, we're experiencing some technical difficulties. Give me another moment.
The year, 1996, Pumpkin Ridge Golf Club outside Portland, Oregon. Finals of the U.S. Amateur Championship. And the pressure on Tiger Woods was suffocating.
The questions being asked each and every day leading up to the event, during the event, trying to do something that no one's ever done in the history of the game, win 3 straight amateurs. Jack never did it. Jay Siegel never did it, Bobby Jones never did it. No one's ever won 3 in a row. Trying to create history, it's tough.
Standing in his way that day is a relative unknown named Steve Scott.
It's so surreal and it feels like yesterday because it's a moment in time that has carried me throughout my golf career. Everywhere I go, hey, you were the guy who played in that U.S. Amateur final against Tiger. You know, 96, I was playing really well. Finished runner-up in a couple big amateur events that summer, so my confidence was riding high. You know, when you're in the finals, there's only one other guy you gotta beat, right? There's only one more player.
That player was the golf world's alpha, setting up what looked like an unfair fight. Woods was the anointed one, on the cusp of an historic coronation.
Tiger Woods had won 30 consecutive matches leading into that U.S. Amateur.
Tiger had this game that was unmatched. He was hitting the ball farther than anybody at that time. He just absolutely bent the course to his will, and that's the way he played in his early years on tour as well. Steve Scott, Nice kid from Florida. Hit a nice kind of sweeping draw that he seemed to have pretty good control of. As far as pedigree, just not in the same class.
Yeah, I knew of Scott. I don't think I've ever played with him, but I knew he had a very funky swing and a funky stroke, but made everything.
Before they played any shots on that final round of the U.S. Amateur, I would have given Steve Scott 0.0 chance of winning that match.
19-year-old Steve Scott was cool and steady in the morning 18. The birdie at the par 5 fourth produced an early 2-up lead.
But Scott wasn't following the script. When viewers tuned in to the final 18 of the head-to-head, he was 5 up. The all-but-up-from-nothing Scott, just another kid in a cap and collared shirt, hadn't just tweaked the storyline, trashed it altogether, playing circles around Woods in the early goings.
I got my butt kicked. I really did. I didn't play that well, and then the times that I did play well, he played better.
Everybody looked at each other and said, wait a second, Steve Scott is beating Tiger Woods? This wasn't supposed to happen.
You see, when Steve Scott was up 5, he obviously should win that match.
As Scott's lead swelled, so did the crowds.
This whole first hole, over 400 yards, was all lined with people. We had Phil Knight from Nike was in the gallery, 15,000 they estimated, and later I found out, millions watching on television, so it was a big deal.
Scott couldn't recreate the magic of the first 18 holes. When he bogeyed the 5th, his 5-up lead was trimmed to 2.
2 down is pretty magical because it just means he makes a bogey, I make a par, I make a birdie, he makes a par, and then boom, I'm back in the ballgame.
Though he'd lost his momentum, Scott still had something crucial at his side. Make that someone, his caddy and girlfriend, Christy Hummel.
Man, she is an incredible caddy. She's got such a good attitude.
I think Christy kept Steve kind of calm out there.
He just told me that my job was to keep him focused on his game.
She is just such a good influence. I'd like to have her caddy for me, and I don't even play.
I just remember being so happy to just be there, and there I was with him for every single shot.
She obviously knew his game, and he knew her, and I just think that familiarity was really helpful for him.
They'd first met in high school in a parking lot after golf practice. Christy, also a competitive golfer, started caddying for Steve in college.
She was a player, but she never really caddied. But I qualified for the 95 Amateur at Newport, and I said, honey, you can have the bag whenever you want.
So I said, okay.
As the final 9 began, Scott's lead was down to 1, but he wasn't finished.
So I need something to go right. I mean, or else I'm going to get steamrolled on this back 9. So I pushed my tee shot here. Tiger ended up about 30 feet back left of the hole. I had a flop shot that I had to play. Didn't have a lot of green to work with. It was just one of those moments where it was just so cool, and it's just a moment that's lived with me.
That could be the shot of the day right there.
I wasn't going to lay down, and I was going to fight for I was going to be really scrappy.
Like a couple of kids on a date, perhaps with destiny, Steve Scott and girlfriend Christy Hummel.
I couldn't get any kind of momentum going. If I made a birdie, he'd make a birdie. If I made a bogey, he'd make a par. It was just like I could never get anything going.
But on the very next hole, a long par 5, a driver and a 5-iron left Tiger with this. Eagle, fist pump, back to within 1. On they battled to a climactic moment on the 16th hole. The score didn't change, but the participants did. Forever.
Well, Tiger Woods is already 2 down with 3 to play, so he's on the 16th green. He's got to get his ball mark out of the way of Steve Scott so that Steve can have a true roll.
And like you would in any match you play, when your opponent or your fellow competitor is in your way, you say, hey, will you move that over? So he went up and he moved his mark over.
Scott put it out, but as Tiger marked his ball, he neglected to put his ball back to its original spot.
It looks like Tiger maybe has forgotten that he had to mark his ball a little bit off the line. And Steve Scott realizes that, and the gentleman that he is.
Kind of like a little reflex action. I said, hey, did you move that back?
if he doesn't say that, and if Tiger Woods forgets, then Steve Scott wins that match.
Is he reminding him to move his coin back?
You know, you should win the match with your clubs, not because of rules, Gaff.
I did forget. For him to do that was pretty remarkable. Ever since that one moment, I always mark my marker heads up, and if I ever move my coin, somebody asks me to move it, I always move it to tails. So that when I look down at my ball, if it's showing tails, that means I moved it. That's true sportsmanship, a testament to what the game of golf is all about.
On the 17th hole, down 1, Tiger Woods got busy being Tiger Woods.
Looks good.
Great speed, it's in!
Are you serious?
I was just fired up because now the match is all square.
Tiger Woods, you know, in the clutch, turns into Superman. He just reasserts himself, reminds everybody that when the pressure is on and he's facing a must-make putt, he's going to make that putt. And then he makes it, and it's just a blur of uppercuts through the air.
I battled down from 5 down to force it into 36th hole.
Some events in life come down to fate. All square after 36, Scott and Woods went to a sudden death playoff.
I think she's been literally his 15th club, I can tell you that.
If I could feel his momentum going down, I felt like I could step in and try to bring him back up. And just remember going down the 18th hole and saying, "You're the man, you're gonna do this." And
Just constantly giving me just great advice and just that push that you need as a competitor to kind of try to push yourself over the edge. And if it wasn't Tiger Woods, it was a meaningful day.
On the second extra hole, Scott lipped out his par putt. Tiger tapped in for the victory.
Now Tiger comeback completed. And with it, golf history.
I put the heat on him, and he didn't back off, which was great because he gave me more confidence that I earned it.
At the end of the day, I was really satisfied the way I played.
He never folded. He never played poorly. I believe he shot either even par or 1 under par in that final, the afternoon. I just happened to get hot.
I played my heart out. I didn't choke, I didn't blow it. I just got beat.
Tiger's career since then is a well-told story. But what happened to Scott? Took a run at the PGA Tour and couldn't quite pull off playing golf for a living. His brightest moment in the spotlight was his epic head-to-head with Tiger.
You have to admire what Steve Scott is doing here.
I don't think he made it out there on the tour, and so my life being out on the tour, we never really would cross paths.
Maybe we'll have a beer sometime and reminisce about this time at Pumpkin Ridge, when we're old and gray, and that would be pretty cool, I think.
Scott didn't win that match.
Well, it's supposed to be a cliffhanger.
Decision I ever made in my life.
Spotlight was his epic head-to-head with Tiger.
You have to admire what Steve Scott is doing here.
I don't think he made it out there on the tour, and so my life being out on the tour, we never really would cross paths.
Maybe we'll have a beer sometime and reminisce about this time at Pumpkin Ridge, when we're old and gray, and that would be pretty cool, I think.
Scott didn't win that match, but most everything since has gone his way.
Now may I present to you Stephen Christie, Mr. and Mrs. Scott.
We got married on the 18th green at the TPC at Eagle Trace, where they used to play the Honda Classic in Coral Springs, Florida. And it was the smartest decision I ever made in my life.
Married 17 years now, they've raised a family with 8-year-old JC and 5-year-old Kaylee.
Just kind of rock, you know?
And Scott's still in the game as the head professional at Paramount Country Club in upstate New York.
You know, I'm constantly reminded about that day, and if this particular event haunted me in some way or whatever, there's no way I would be a golf pro. I wouldn't be in the golf business. It's in my DNA. You know, this event is just part of my being, and to be able to come back here and show the kids, you know, where mom and dad had their moment, it really makes me feel great. It's kind of like a bow on the whole present. Now look up. I think I'm walking proof that you can win in life without winning.
Now, without further ado, Steve Scott.
Get a little choked up at that one. That's you know, this game. It's just the greatest game, isn't it? It's just the absolute greatest. And you know, to be able to be up here, especially in the Northeast. I'm a South Florida boy. Yeah.
Catch the video.
This is like the Masters where they have that filled-in audio. Thank you. But being a South Florida boy like I am, you know, I went to the University of Florida. I grew up in South Florida, but the golf business drove me up here, and it's for reasons just like this. This backdrop right here is amazing. You know, to be able to come to places like Wingfoot and Bethpage and just all these great golf, Quaker Ridge, where I played the Walker Cup in 1997. You know, the game just brings us to so many amazing venues, and the young men and women in the audience today. I don't know how lucky. I don't know if you know how lucky you are right now. I don't know if you know that this is the mountaintop of golf that you are in. I mean, I don't know if you saw the trophies on your way in. Major championships are played here. This is golf. This is if you love the game at all, which you obviously do, this is the place. You know, like I said, the game of golf, it just leads us down so many great roads. It leads us to great places. It leads us to great schools. Like I said, I played at the University of Florida from 1995 to 1999, and very special times. And I know a lot of you parents in the room are hoping your children get scholarships, full scholarships, to great schools, and this game could be that vehicle, but the lessons that you learn through this game will help in that path as well. And like the video showed, this game can lead you to the love of your life. I've been married, been lucky enough to be married now for 17 years. We've got 2 wonderful children who will soon be in this room, hopefully, with you and hitting the golf ball around and grabbing a trophy like you are. That'd be neat, but it leads you down a lot of really neat paths. But, you know, I was exactly like a lot of you young men and women in the room. I had aspirations of greatness. My father cut a putter down for me when I was 5, and I started playing tournament golf when I was 10. And I just loved it. I loved the game. I loved being in this atmosphere. I grew up very close to where the Honda Classic is played in South Florida, and just watched them in awe, and I wanted to beat them. And I was fortunate. I got to play professional golf for 6 years. And I played, I went to Q school, I had success in the Canadian Tour, but never quite on the PGA Tour, and you know, it led me down the road of being a PGA professional. And along the way, I even got lucky enough to be an AJGA All-American. I was a two-time Walker Cup player. Right across the street over Quaker Ridge was my first one in 1997, and I played over in Scotland 2 years later. And I was even lucky enough to play in a couple major championships. I got to drive a brand new Cadillac they gave me down Magnolia Lane to play in the Masters. That was pretty special. I don't think they knew that I wasn't old enough for a rental car yet, but you know, the game is all about overcoming obstacles, right? Every time we play golf, we have a challenge. We hit it behind a tree, what do? We hit it in the bunker, how are we going to get out? We hit it in the long rough. How do I change my swing to adapt to that shot? And back in that US Amateur that we saw, I shouldn't even have been in match play. I shouldn't even have played Tiger Woods in that final match. I shot a 79 the first day of stroke play in the US Amateur. Now, it's a pretty good score for most everybody, but when you're playing the US Amateur, you're back like almost to the end of the pack at 79. And I was basically making my plane reservations out. I was done. And something kicked in me that next morning. I had an afternoon tee time the second day of stroke play, and somehow, I don't know, I got in this zone and I just made it happen. I shot 66 the next day of stroke play and made it in by a shot. And I know everybody who plays golf in this room can sympathize with that and understand you shoot one of your worst rounds when you're expected to play great, and what do you do? What do you do? And golf always gives us that challenge, doesn't it? It's never always smooth sailing in this game. And in that respect, I was pretty lucky. And then the match play, it got all the way down to that guy Tiger and me. And you know, he got lucky and he beat me. Took him 38 holes though, but he said, you know, if I can beat that Steve Scott, I can get him, I'm ready to turn pro and conquer the world. So I think I added a couple zeros to his Nike contract with that. You know, I know you're ready to grab these awards, and I'm not going to keep you from too much longer, but you know, some of you may lead your lives down the professional golf route. Some of you may lead yourselves to being a PGA professional, like myself. You know, this game and the values that you learn and understand, and the obstacles that you overcome every day on the golf course, from the bunkers and the trees and the rough, those things last. Those things stay with you in college when you get there. I guess you got to get to high school first or something. And in college, and the business world, and when you have your own families, and all the people sitting there, they're grandparents. I know you don't want to get there too fast, but there's some grandparents. But the habits that you, and I have to, you know, congratulations to all the parents for leading your child into this great game. I thank my parents all the time. My father was really the one who really pushed me into the game, but actually he never pushed me. He just he led me down the path, and I just said, Dad, I'm going to play, and he followed me. But you know, these habits that you create, you just don't know where they lead. And you know, for me, at that point in that match, in that pivotal moment on that 34th hole of that match that you saw in the video, where I just reminded him to remark his golf ball, something you would do in any, you know, you probably did it 3 times this summer playing in tournaments with your fellow competitor or your opponent in match play. You know, these habits, they stick with you, and you know what? Where it leads you to, and the story, that story right there, even though I didn't have my hand on that trophy, and I saw a replica of that trophy in the hallway over there, that Havermeyer trophy, I had one hand on that thing. right? And I had the opportunity to win it. But the game, the values that I learned in this game as a young person like you, like everybody out here, it lasted with me. And it was a blink of an eye, and I turned to him and said, hey, move it back. And not thinking that, or hoping he would make all those putts that he ended up making, but not knowing, you know, I had the opportunity to win a trophy, win the biggest tournament I probably could ever have won, and all the accolades that go along with it. But you know, I had the chance to win, or I had the chance to do the right thing. Right? So the lesson and the message I want to pass on to everybody here today is, when you have that opportunity to go down one path or the other, do the right thing. Do the right thing. It will pay dividends more than you ever. Thank you so very much for having me here today. If I can ever help anybody in this room with anything, please don't hesitate to give me a call over Paramount. I love the section. I love everybody. And thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Steve, for those truly very meaningful words, and you know, it's an incredible lesson for everyone in the room. At this time, I'm going to open the floor for a couple minutes. If anyone has any questions for Steve, please feel free to ask. Don't be shy. Someone should have a question.
What tournaments are you playing now? Are you playing any local Met tournaments?
Yes, I do compete pretty regularly in the section. We have a lot of great events and a lot of great venues, and yeah, I've been lucky enough to compete. It's my 5th year that I finished at Paramount, just finishing up. And, yeah, I do compete pretty regularly. I was lucky enough to win the Head Pro Championship this year, and out of Long Island, and yeah, I'm getting my game back. You know, the game it's a funny game. I've got young children, and what it has done, there was a little lull in my golf, and with my new job 5 years ago, and my children are now 8 and almost 6 now, and it didn't give me a lot of time to really work on my game in the last few years. I've kind of rededicated myself to the game, and it's fun. The game, the competition, really, I think, and all these young kids, it never leaves our blood. It's always there. And you know, I'm 39. I'll be 40 years old next summer, and you know, the competition is just in my blood. So I love competing to this day, and it's you know, it's all because of what I learned and as a young person.
Who was reading your putts?
Well, I would have to say that I'll have to give my girlfriend at the time, my wife, a little credit, but she was more there for this right here, to keep my psyche in check. You know, for me, I still pretty much read my own putts, and unless I'm playing here at Wingfoot, because these greens are really, really difficult to read. But no, yeah, you know, sometimes you just, you know, you got to treat putts as like shooting a basketball and just kind of get up there and do it. And so I try to just live by that motto, I guess. Yes, back and back.
So in '96, Tiger wasn't quite the Tiger we all knew that he was going to be, but he was still formidable at that time. So how did you prepare yourself mentally going into that match? Because I mean, a few years later, I think people were going into the events thinking they were just playing for second place or going up against Mike Tyson or something like that. They didn't have any chance to win. So what did you do mentally to prepare yourself?
Yeah, great question. What did I do mentally? you know, I remember walking down, like I said in the video, the whole first hole was lined with people at 7:15 in the morning. They estimated 15,000 people were out there watching the match. And I'd never played golf in front of that many people, but if I ever get the chance again, and I hope I do, what it does, it really helps you focus. It really helps you just, you don't want to make a fool out of yourself. You want to make sure you're right down the middle and right out there. And so really what I did, I had a lot of momentum the whole week. After that 79 that I shot in first round stroke play, my game was just on, and I was just, I don't know, I guess I had that kind of killer instinct going. So I remember walking down the first hole on that Sunday morning against Tiger, and he's about 15 yards ahead of me, and I turned to my wife and I said, "Honey, I'm going to crush this guy." And she said, "Why?" And I said, "He doesn't have a sports psychologist caddying for him." Because he did. There was a fellow named Jake Brunza who was in the military. He was a psychologist in the military with Earl Woods back in the day. And this was the first USGA final that he didn't have Jay caddy for him. And so I saw that, and I thought that was very, very interesting. And so I used that. I used that to my benefit, and I think it's a great lesson to pass on to anybody. You can use anything you want out there, whether it's a fictional story or even a real story, to your benefit to motivate yourself. Right? If you have I remember one time where I was playing a hole. I played a hole the previous day, and I didn't hit a very good tee shot, and I was very upset about that. So I had the same hole the next day in the final round of the tournament. And I was a little upset, and so what I did is I relived how upset I was the day before, but I used it for my benefit, and it gave me a little adrenaline, and I crushed the ball about 30 yards further down the fairway the next day and made a birdie. So, but you can, motivation, you can kind of try to pull it from anywhere.
So I have two questions. I'll ask them both if you don't mind answering them. I'll ask them first. I saw that tournament live with my 9-year-old, who was Daniel.
Okay.
And one thing that I'll always remember about it, and it might have been my perception on TV, it looked like Tiger was hitting a lot of balls into the woods, but the woods were wide open now. It looked that way. I don't know if that's. And the second question is, who's your favorite golfer who inspired you as a kid?
I would say, well, let's see. Answer the first one, I think, or the second one first. I think one of my favorites was always Payne Stewart. Payne Stewart, the late Payne Stewart, he was always somebody I emulated when I grew up around the Honda Classic down in South Florida. I watched all the guys, but Payne had a flair to him. He had him, Peter Jacobson, the ones who kind of played to the crowd a little bit. I think that those are the ones who really inspired me in the game, because the game is not just about golf; it's about entertainment, right? We're entertainers out there, and that's our stage. And the first part of it was, I think you were actually, you might have been talking about the 94 U.S. Amateur against Trip Keeney, because when he played me, here's a stat for you. He hit 28 of the last 29 greens in regulation of the 38 holes that we played. So he wasn't in the woods a whole lot that day. I really wish he was, maybe a couple more times. But yeah, that was TPC to Sawgrass. That was TPC to Sawgrass. That's all right. That's all right. But thank you for being one of some of you who watched that match that day. I know a lot of these juniors. As I get older and get more gray hair, these kids weren't even born when I played that match. So I'm glad they have it on television. Anybody else? Yes, young lady in the back. Do my kids play golf? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. We've got them sets of clubs that fit them just right. We're fortunate enough to live right off the back of the 14th hole at Paramount Country Club, and so they can go out there and chip and putt and play a few holes at night. And so yes, they do play, and I don't care if they play tournament golf or whatever they do, but like I mentioned, the values. It's all about the values. It's learning how to overcome things, and it's not always about winning that trophy. So. Good question, thank you. One more question.
Knowing you had all the tools to be a professional, you did. When did you realize that it was enough to pursue on the high level.
Okay, so knowing that I had all the tools, when did I realize I needed to move on? Well, when you open your bank account and the zeros are going down and down and down, it's really easy. But the game it's a heck of a game. You know, if I would have had maybe 20 yards more off the tee, I fly the ball 270. I need to fly 290 or 300, or else I need to make more putts. Or after that Tiger Woods match, I put a lot of pressure on myself. I really did. I don't know why, but I did. I wanted to keep living up to where I was, and I basically got a lot of putting problems. I got the yips, and I started putting poorly. I've recently developed a new way to putt, which I can tell you about later, but it's really helped me a lot and helped me be competitive again in golf, so and overcome some putting problems. So yeah, just that bank account, when that thing goes down. And now you got these apps, and you can see it really quick. I think that's it. Everybody, thank you so much. Congratulations to all the juniors and all the awards. And again, like I said, if I can ever do anything for anybody, it doesn't matter how small, how big, give me a call over Paramount. Look me up on Twitter. I'm on the social media thing, SScottPGA. I'm all around. So please, just ask me questions. I'm here to help. I want to help the youth. Thanks so much.
Thanks again to Steve. He'll be around, I believe, till the end of the ceremony, so if anyone had a question and didn't get to talk to him or wanted to ask it in private, I'm sure he'd be happy to talk to you a little bit later on. Or if you'd like to reach him, of course, feel free to contact him via social media, or if you'd like his email address or to be in touch with him, feel free to ask me, and I'm sure he'd love to talk with you. So thanks again for your beautiful words. At this time, we are going to start our awards presentation by recognizing the Achievement Medal winners. An Achievement Medal is awarded to any junior golfer who finished in first, second, or third in any of our tournaments this season. We had over 400 different individuals win an Achievement Medal this year, which is absolutely sensational. That means just under 1/3 of our members had a top 3 finish in an event this year. But let's not forget, no matter what, anyone who teed it up this summer is a big winner in their own right. At this time, I would like for all of the junior golfers in the room who won a medal or came in the top 3 at a tournament this past summer to please stand, and let's give them a huge round of applause. I'm going through the slideshow of all their names as well. As you can see, there's a tremendous amount of talent in this room, and congratulations to each and every one of you on your hard work. Many of you in this room have plans to continue your career far beyond the junior tour. We are proud that so many of our juniors have achieved their goals this year. And now up on the screen is a list of our 2016 graduates that have gone on to play for their college golf team or gone on to pursue a career in the golf industry. If any of you are in the room tonight, may I please ask you to stand? Probably not here because you're all the way at school. But truly, it's about a list of 40 players of the class of 200 that went on to compete in college golf or go into a PGM program. So it's incredible for us that such a high percentage, nearly 25% of all of our members, go on to continue their golf career in such a special capacity. Let's give them all a big round of applause.